Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. All right, today is week 7 of our Less Stuff, More Life challenge for the year 2020. This is all from Less Stuff, More Life by me, Amy Maryon. You can go get this book. Don't pay for it. You can go buy it on Amazon if you want to have a physical copy, but I have a link right below this video. If you go down the video description, you just click on it. It'll take you to my blog. You don't have to sign up. All you do is click and it will download the PDF to your phone or to your laptop or to your tablet, whatever device you have, and it's free. Don't have to sign up for anything. It's just free. Go get yourself this book so that we can go along together and choose 52 different changes for the year 2020. Now, some of these things you're gonna go, oh, I don't wanna make that change, or, you know, that's something I don't even feel like I need to do, and that's great. And that's one thing you don't have to do. But for some of you that want to just kind of like weed out, the whole point of Less Stuff, More Life is to weed out things in our life. We wanna weed out things physically, like if we have clutter. We wanna weed out things emotionally, if we're dealing with a lot of baggage and anger and frustration and bitterness and unthankfulness, all those things. And then we also want to do it spiritually, where we can get to the basics and we can go, okay, life is good. Like, I have a good life. Yes, I do. And realizing what we have in your own little mist of circle in your own little life. So this week we're going on. We've gone through 7. You can go to my main channel. If you click on Amy Maryon, you can go to my playlist, look for my videos, and it has Less Stuff, More Life, and it has all the videos that we've had up till now. And you can go through and choose which ones you want. We've gone through different things. We're doing also a home decluttering series, like homemaking with Amy, on Thursdays. A little different, but kind of the similar things. Just depends on what you're dealing with. But it goes through and just walking you through things that we can choose to change about this week. So this week is going to be chapter 7, and it's choosing to have a heart of gratitude. Now, we know those people, right, that are usually negative people. I think some of you know those people, right? We've got negative people in our lives that everything's bad. They've got the Eeyore syndrome. It's a bad day. It's raining. It's too cold. I got a bill to pay. Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, my back hurts. We got those negative people, right, in our lives. And sometimes those negative people can impact us if we're not careful real quick and make you go on that downward spiral of negativism. Negativism. If we're not careful. So we have to be equipped ourselves and choosing to have a heart of gratitude no matter what. And that takes some practice. It does. You know, how many times do you walk away from the grocery store, if you're talking to the cashier lady and they're sharing about their negative things today, and you're like, I know, it's bad, it's all these things, and you walk away and you're like, wow, that wasn't uplifting at all. Or get off the phone with your friend. Have you ever gotten into a conversation with your friend and you're like, I'm gonna be positive, I'm gonna watch my mouth, I'm gonna do all these things, and then they start spewing what's happening, not spewing, sharing, let's say sharing, or maybe they're spewing, I don't know, about their day and how awful it is, or their husband, what a jerk he is, and all these things, and how dare he do these things, and then you go, oh, you know what, he did that to me too. He treated me like this, I can't believe him, and this and that, and then by the time you get off the conversation on the phone, you're like, that wasn't uplifting at all. I don't feel any better than when I started that conversation. And you go, why did I do that? It's because you're choosing not to have a heart of gratitude. And that's what we're going to focus on this week. Why do we need to make these changes? Why do we need to make these changes? Because a grateful heart is one that finds the countless blessings of God in the seemingly mundane, everyday life task. Now, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I know, and I have 10 kids, and I have cleaned and changed diapers and nursed babies, and cleaned and changed diapers and nursed babies, and cleaned and changed. I've done those tasks, and I'm still doing those tasks, just with a little bit more fun mixed in. But I have been in that mundane task of life. Some of you may be in the mundane task at work, where you're going to work and you're doing the computer work, you're filing the papers, and you're doing this, and then you're doing this, and you're walking like the robot that's doing all the things in life, right? We go through these mundane tasks of life. But the person that has the heart of gratitude and thankfulness inside can go, okay, I'm gonna look at my day and see what kind of impact I can make in my circle around me. Now, why should we do these things? What are the good reasons for having a heart of gratitude? 1, having a heart of gratitude allows you to be happy and celebrate today, right? You aren't sitting around worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow or thinking about what happened yesterday. You're going to be thankful and look forward to the next great things that God has for your life and the great things that are going to happen the next day. 2, having a heart of gratitude allows you to block all negative emotion. It does not allow you to sit around and have a pity party for yourself. Have you had a pity party? I've had a pity party before. I've had many pity parties for me, and woe is me, and Eeyore syndrome, and no one's got the life I have, and why do I have this lot in life, and blah, blah, blah. If you have a heart of gratitude, it does not allow that to happen, right? It also doesn't overwhelm you with all the bad things that are going on around you, because our world has got some bad stuff going on around us, isn't it? It is. You can just open the news app and look at the first line of news of what's happening, and there's a whole lot of bad going on around, right? 3, having a heart of gratitude will also make you stress resilient. Stress resilient, what? If you resist stress, that's a good thing in life, right? Because most people have heart issues. Most people are on medications to lower their because they haven't dealt with stress before, right? If you can resist stress, it'll help your marriage, it'll help in your home, it'll help how you treat people, and towards your own health, so that you can keep this heart working pretty good. And 4, having a heart of gratitude also will strengthen the bonds of the people and the relationships around you, right? Because people like to be around people that are positive and who are generally happy to be around, right? No one wants to spend time with a negative person. If you've got friends and you can choose to hang out with some, are you going to choose that negative friend? No. Your spouse and your children are negative. Do you want to hang around them? Absolutely not. And 5, having a heart of gratitude will improve your self-esteem. When you're thankful for your position in life, your job, your family, all those things that you have, you will start to become accepting, and you won't want so much anymore, right? You're going to start thanking God for what you have in life and stop looking at what you don't have in life, right? And you'll become a much happier person. So how do we make the change, Amy? It sounds great, but you don't know my situation, Amy. You don't know, but I can imagine your situation. I can imagine most of your situations, because I know I was in similar situations as a lot of you. How do we do that? Well, you know what we got to do? We got to train this thing down here called your heart and your head for gratitude. And you got to do that. And you got to wake up in the morning. First thing when you wake up in the morning, don't start thinking about how you feel. Don't wake up and go, I got woken up 20 times last night. And that'd be the first thing you say. No, don't say that. Start saying things you're thankful for. Our old pastor would say, name 5 things you're thankful for. Simple. It sounds simple, and it's like, oh, that sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Wake up and start saying 5 things you're thankful for. It might be a push. It might be just the fact that, hey, I slept in bed last night with some covers. I get to go take a warm, hot shower this morning, right? I have my eyesight. I can brush my teeth this morning. I can go and have breakfast when I'm hungry this morning. It might be something simple like that, and that's good. When you start looking at the small things that most people take for granted in life and be thankful for those, that helps train your heart to be grateful for other things. Sometimes you gotta do this a few times a day. Do it, set yourself a trigger, right? Do it when you first wake up. Do it right before you have lunch. And do it right before you go to bed at night. Those are good times to remind yourself to do it. Sometimes it helps to write it down, because sometimes you just can't be thankful. When you start getting that humdrum of like, ugh, I don't like this, stop. Immediately start saying 5 things you're thankful for. That's what you need to do. The hardest times in life is when immediate things happen in your life. Now, for me as a mom, I know I can wake up and be positive, be thankful, and then guess what? My child can take and spill milk all down the cracks of the table, and it can fit in between, splash up on the sides, and you're like, oh my goodness. So immediately you got to catch yourself, and you got to go, take a breath and smile. Yeah, smile, that helps. And then go, oh, I'm thankful I have a child that can make a mess on my floor, because there's a lot of mamas out there that don't have kids that can make messes on their tables, right? You can also, when you have screaming kids in the house all day long, or you gotta clean up after them, or you gotta clean toilets, you gotta change diapers, you gotta do all those things, you can go, you know what, I'm thankful that I get to change these diapers, because there's many women that don't get to change diapers, and they wish they could be in my situation. Sometimes in your marriage, maybe your husband drives you crazy, and you're like, oh my goodness, but he's a faithful man. Maybe he doesn't have everything all worked out, but you go, you know what? I have a husband that loves me and doesn't want to strain our marriage. You got to look at the positives, and sometimes it's the simple things instead of looking at everything you don't have. And that can turn around that negative thinking. And I know, like, when I do dishes, like, we have the dishwasher now, but I remember back in the day doing dishes, and there was so many dishes, and I would just be like, I got to do dishes. But when I'd wash, I'd start thanking the Lord, going, you know what? I am so thankful I have all these dishes to wash and feed my family. We don't starve. I can feed them 3 meals a day and snacks every single day if I want to. And I'm thanking the Lord for what I have. So whenever you start facing those things that stress you, those trials, or you want to get that negative, like, oh, I don't have that, or oh, that's not fair. Start going and thanking the Lord for the things that you do have, and having that heart of gratitude. It will change the atmosphere around you. It will change your outlook on what you do. You just got to repeat it. Sometimes you got to work on that and do that over and over again, so you can get it so deep rooted inside your heart, You speak it out your mouth and it gets in your head and it's all one. And then you're just thankful and you're like, you know what? It's good. Life really is good. Start saying the words, thank you. That's a good thing to do. I know my older teens started training, like every time they would make I would make a meal. I mean, every meal I make, that thank you for making food. And they say that every single time. And so I know Lauren was saying it a lot with the kids, and I'm like, oh, thank you, Lauren. And now I catch the younger teens saying, thank you, Mom, for supplying me with water and these crackers and chips from the store or whatever. And I just laugh and I'm like, you're quite welcome. So, but it's those little things. You teach them to be thankful for that. When you give your kids something, or you take kids something from them, say thank you to them, and teach your kids to say thank you for these things, because we want to cultivate that heart of gratitude. Like, thank you that you thought of it. We don't want it to be so mundane that we're not thanking for the simple things. Like my kids, they can just expect that they're going to be fed every day, right? That's just something that happens all the time. But by saying that, it really goes, okay, they're thankful I did prepare a meal for them today, or you know, that I did do this for them. So thanking your spouse, work on that this week. Thanking your spouse for things. And it might be something, maybe your husband and you don't have a great relationship, and maybe you're fighting and stressing out. I know, those are fun times. It happens in all marriages. Start thanking him. Husband, let's say he goes to work in your home. Husband goes to work, then you say, hey, you know what, husband, thank you for going to work for us today. I know it's hard and you're doing a great job and I appreciate what you do. Thank him for that, right? When you have food at home and he comes home and eats dinner, and say, you know, thank you. Thank you for supplying the money for groceries that we can eat tonight. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for sacrificing yourself so that I can stay home. Or maybe it's going to be your kids and something they do. Thank you for washing those dishes for me, because that's something I didn't have to do today. Thank people. Thank your coworkers at your work. Thank you for doing that for me today. It's something I didn't have to do, and I appreciate that very much. Work on saying thank you. That's a good thing to try. You got to catch yourself saying it to the point that it almost drives you crazy that you're saying it so much, but then you know, okay, it's so inbred in you, it just comes naturally, and that's a good thing. Right, we got to remember, it's not happiness that brings us that gratitude and thankfulness. It's the gratitude that brings the happiness in our life. Because when we start being really, truly thankful for things inside, it spews out into our mouth, and the happiness around us, it cultivates a good little atmosphere in our home. So, all right, so what are we gonna do this week? We're gonna choose to have a heart of gratitude. Yes, and it's gonna have to be intentional. You're gonna have to make yourself do it. You might not want to. Your dog might pee on the floor last night and have to clean up and go, I'm thankful for my little Maxine. Your husband might leave his dirty laundry all over the floor, and you're like, I am thankful I have a husband that goes to work and I can pick up his clothes. Yes, I'm not saying that they have to be thankful for you. We're not talking about how they gotta treat you. You're working on you. You can't control the people around you. You can't control how your kids act. You can't control how your husband acts. You can't control how your coworkers act. That's not gonna happen. But we can choose us to have a different kind inside, and that's what we're doing, because we want to be the ones that have that true joy, that true peace that none of the world has, but it starts right inside here. You got to choose the heart of gratitude. All right, so that's week 7, Less Stuff, More Life. Make sure you go get this book on my blog, and you can follow along with us, and then we'll be back here again next week for week 8. All right, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'm going to see you tomorrow with another day in the life. All right, bye.